Am I the asshole if I walked off once my niece started calling me stupid? Hi. My mom, my niece, 8 years, and I were walking through the park on our way to a snack place. En route, we start talking about something stupid, and I question something my niece says, as it's contradictory to what she said a sentence before. She starts saying rather aggressively, "Are you dumb? Do you have a brain?" or something to that effect. I get so angry by this, that I just have to say to my mom, "I'm not going to spend time with a child that insults me," and walked off into the opposite direction, hearing my mom call my name and my niece yelling, "Bye." I wait for them on a bench, and when they're walking back, my niece refuses to speak to me, staying by a tree and proceeding to hit the tree very aggressively with its own branch. She then refuses to continue walking. I tell her that I'm sorry for walking off, but it hurt my feelings that she called me stupid, so I would like to get an apology. She refused. We then made our way home, with my niece storming in front of us, bursting into tears occasionally, throwing her coat here and there, and saying she never wanted to see us again. Once we got back, I asked if she wanted to talk about it. She refused, and then I just stayed out of her hair. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Telling a kid they're being rude isn't a bad thing. It definitely sounds like she's got something going on, but saying, "I'm not gauging to be around someone being mean to me," and then leaving, without being nasty about it, is actually a great example of boundary setting. Not the asshole. What is wrong with her parents that she thinks it's okay to act like this? She's picking up this bad behavior from somewhere. Not the asshole. You're fine. Your niece is a brat. Info. Who was supposed to be taking care of that 8-year-old? It sounds like her mother wasn't there, so was the responsibility on you or your mom to take care of her? Did your mom just stand there and not intervene the whole time? Not the asshole. This was probably the very first time she was called out for her behavior. That's on her own parents to not teach her how to communicate with other adults. She didn't know the difference between saying something is dumb versus saying someone is dumb. A 6-year-old should know the difference. This really depends on what preceded her meltdown. I can understand being frustrated by her behavior. On the surface, it feels like bratty behavior. However, if you analyze it further, this sounds like a child who's deeply upset or embarrassed and lacks emotional regulation and communication skills. Refusing to walk or talk, crying spells, throwing her coat, that all sounds like a child who doesn't know how to process their feelings. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my friend turn my apartment into her second closet? So I'll begin like this. I'm Kayla, and my friend Kate lives in a studio that's pretty cramped up. 2 months ago, she asked if she could keep 2 small boxes of her winter clothes at my place, since I have a 2-bedroom and more space. I didn't see the harm at the time and agreed. But those 2 small boxes turned into bags, then shoes, then coats, and whatnot. She now has about 6 large bags and 2 bins stacked in my spare room. I told her it's starting to overwhelm my space and making me feel uncomfortable, especially because I actually use that room for work and studying basically. When I asked her to either pick up her stuff or pay me part of the rent I pay, like $30 monthly, which is less than a storage space, she got mad. She said I was being greedy, that friends don't charge each other for favors. She also accused me of acting like a landlord in my own house. From my point of view, it's not just about money, it's about my home. I feel like I can't have guests over without explaining why I'm storing half her wardrobe. I've also had to move her stuff around multiple times just to use my desk for work. Some mutual friends are saying I'm right for setting boundaries, but others think I'm being petty and making a big deal out of something that's been hurting me so bad. So, am I the asshole for refusing to let my friend keep turning my apartment into her storage unit? She's making a space you use unusable and taking advantage of your friendship. Tell her she needs to get her stuff. You don't have room for her stuff. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You did her a favor, and now it's no longer working for you, so her time is up. Give her a certain number of days to get it all out, or it'll be donated to charity. If she has more stuff than can fit in her apartment, she either needs a bigger apartment or less stuff. Not the asshole. Your friend is taking advantage of your kindness, and you should put a stop to it since it is getting in the way. I would just ask her to take her stuff back, and if anyone ever asks for a similar favor in the future, just say no. It's okay to say no. You are the asshole if you don't just pack her stuff up and drop it at her house. Not the asshole. Box her shit up and return it all to her. Not the asshole. Your friend is the type where she's given an inch she thinks she's a ruler. Stick to your boundary, it's your home, and don't name a dollar figure you won't be happy with. Tell anyone that's bitching about your being petty. They are welcome to volunteer, have her store bins and bags of her crap at their house for free. AITA for asking my girlfriend if we can leave when we're at her parents'. So my girl's parents had her when they were a lot younger than my parents, so she has 2 younger siblings. Due to this, we go over to her house for all the holidays and just generally a lot more often. Her parents are also more attached to seeing her often, as she always lived close and never was far until she moved in with me. All of this is completely understandable, and I'm for it. I want her siblings to know their big sis is always there for them. Anyways, we probably go over every other weekend or so for dinner. Often around 3-5, and end up usually staying for at least 4 or 5 hours, at which I begin to get a bit antsy and tired. Tonight I was honestly about to fall asleep on the couch, and told my girlfriend I was super tired, and asked if we could leave soon. She said yes in a few minutes, and then proceeded to have another drink, and 30-45 minutes go by. I was starting to get a bit upset, as we had yet to feed our dog for the night, and knew if I didn't speak up, we would have been there for another 1-2 hours at least, and I likely would have fallen asleep on the couch. I really like her family, but every time we go over there, it's almost like she forgets I'm even there. Especially when her friends are there too. She'll maybe check on me every hour or so for 30 seconds, and I'll go into the kitchen where she's hanging far more often to try and engage with what she's doing. But usually it's not easy to be in these girl convos for long. I hate having to ask her to leave. I try to just let her know, hey baby, I'm getting really sleepy, and we still need to feed our dog, but often find I do have to press it a bit, or I will genuinely fall asleep on the couch. Also, I have to drive home every time, and we live 30 minutes away. She never asks to leave when we're at my parents', but I feel like I'm always watching to notice if she's feeling tired or isn't having fun or something, so she doesn't have to awkwardly ask. We generally don't stay too long either. AITA? Edit girlfriend does not have license yet. She knows she needs to learn, but it's been slow going. Not the asshole. It sounds like your girlfriend needs to visit her parents on her own, or she needs to agree to leave at a preset time. Not the asshole that sounds really boring, and it happens really often. I am not judging her for wanting to spend time with her family, but why not do something else, and she can go by herself for most of these visits? Nah. The place to have this conversation is not at either of your parents' house. You both are very consistent in your behaviors. You are willing to ask to leave, and are watching for discomfort. She is willing to stay at your parents until you decide it's time to go. But you guys aren't really communicating needs or expectations with each other. Now why do you have to go every time? Just let her go by herself, make up something. You can just go there once a month. Not the asshole, but can be avoided. My wife has similar tendencies. I don't want to tear her from her family, so I talk to her before we put to figure out how much time she intends to spend there. If it is in the ballpark PF what works for me, I will let her know when I'd like to leave and ask if that works. If not, and otherwise I will drive separately. Not the asshole every other weekend is too much for the both of you. You too, she should not be neglecting your adult responsibility, the dog, to party, even with loved ones. At the least, you should only join her once a month. That said, you should have a serious thought about your compatibility. Do you like her family? Does she make you come so she can drink and you can drive? Am I the asshole for moving out when I know my mom is financially stressed? I, 30F, have lived with my mom and brother my whole life. I have a good full-time job and a great salary. I've always just lived at home out of convenience. My mom looks after my pets when I go on vacation, and because my mom guilts me anytime I mention moving out. I started looking for a place to rent around April of this year, but put off the search after my mom got injured at her job and had to stop working, and my grandpa passed away. I have been on the wait list for a really nice apartment complex in my area, top-rated property management company where I live, 2 beds, 2 baths, and a private patio, and they will allow my 2 dogs and 1 cat. And last week they contacted me to let me know I was next up for an available unit and I could sign the lease this coming week. I immediately told them yes, and texted my mom in excitement. Needless to say, she's pissed. Like literally isn't speaking to me. I should say that she is currently waiting for a settlement from workers' comp for her injury and has been advised by doctors that she needs to apply for disability. She has 0 income at the moment and is not able to look for another job because of her injury. My brother is on a fixed income as well. I have every intention of continuing to pay the bills I already pay, Starlink internet, water, and phone, until my mom either gets her settlement or starts receiving disability. She doesn't know this is my plan because she immediately started giving me the cold shoulder rather than talk to me. Am I the asshole if I move out? Should I wait to move out until she gets her settlement or disability? If I wait to move out, it's unlikely I'll be able to find a unit as nice as the one currently available for me. The units with this property management company never stay available for long, especially in the complex I'm on the wait list for. My lease signing is scheduled for Wednesday, and I have no clue what I'm going to do. AITA. My brother owns the home we live in currently. There is no mortgage. He would just have to continue paying the power bill and take over groceries for my mom. I own the car my mom uses, and she is free to continue using that. I cover all maintenance and pay for gas. AITA 2. My brother is older than I am. AITA 3. My mom has known I was looking to move out since my search started in April. She was present with me for many of the apartment tours. There was no way I could have given a heads up about the apartment I planned to sign the lease on because I added myself to the wait list years ago. There was no way for me to know there would be an opening coming up. Update. I texted my mom and told her I could continue paying the bills I currently pay until she begins receiving disability or receives her settlement. She hasn't responded. I have the lease signing scheduled for Wednesday at noon, crossed fingers. If you miss this opportunity, you will regret it. Just do it. Imagine having a peaceful, quiet home. Not the asshole. Take the apartment and enjoy your life. It's very kind of you to continue helping your mom after you move out, but that doesn't mean you have to give up this wonderful opportunity to have a place of your own that you love. Not the asshole. It really upsets me when parents want to hinder their adult children's growth, just because they are selfish and or have no retirement plan. Obviously, some people who are truly in poverty are there by no choice of their own. But so often, a pattern of behavior causes this. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and this is ridiculous of your mom. A parent should want their adult kids to thrive and move on with their own lives. Add to that the fact that your brother is an adult, your mom is an adult, and they have no mortgage. Like what? It is not your responsibility to put your life on hold for two other adults who only have to be able to, and should be able to, make enough money for food, electricity, water, and yearly property taxes. You shouldn't even be paying for her car at this point. Please get the new place, live your life, and start making moves to no longer pay for her car once she has an income or gets her settlement. Not the asshole. In some cases, there will never be a good time to move out. Some parents will always be angry, upset, or scared when their children leave. Move out. Tell your brother how long you will continue to pay for those things, since your mom is all caught up in herself. It's time for you to move forward. Sometimes that comes with growing pains, but now is the perfect time. Not the asshole. This sounds like a dream apartment, and you'll regret not taking the chance. If your mom doesn't want to talk to you, I'd reconsider paying the bills.